speak.
Recording in progress.
Good evening and welcome to the Standing Committee on Teaching, Learning, and Student Success. Today is November 19th, Tuesday. My name is Alex Guardiola and I am the chair of this committee. I am joined by my colleagues starting immediately to my right, Vice Chairwoman Vanessa Alvarez, as well as school committee members Susan Mailman and Maureen Benenda. Also with us is Assistant Superintendent Dr. Marie Morse and her colleagues, who I will have Dr. Morse introduce in just a moment. Let's first start by doing roll call. Madam Clerk, if you don't mind.
Vice Chair Alvarez.
Present.
Member Benenda.
Here.
Member Mailman.
Here.
Chairperson Guardiola.
And I'm here. Dr. Morse, would you please introduce yourself and your colleagues here for us and folks on the Zoom with us?
Sure, through the chair. My name is Marie Morse. I'm the Assistant Superintendent of Teaching and Learning. And to my right is Dr. Vicki Roman. Across from me is Chris Chrysonis. He is the Administrative Director of College and Career Readiness. And Ellen Kelly is to his immediate left, and she is the Executive Director of the Daughter Department.
Very good. Thank you so much for joining us all. So we do have a few items to go through tonight, so let's get started right away. Let's start with item 1, GB 4-39A, to request the administration provide a report in reference to homeschooling, including number of participants and grade levels. Dr. Roman?
Through the chair. Thank you. I have provided the numbers requested, and in the table, if you look at it, I also kind of did a color by cohort to see if there were any trends or significant changes between groups of students from year to year. Overall, there have not been any significant changes. The numbers seem to be fairly consistent. The total number is up to 337 right now, which is an 18% increase over last year. But that number shifts, I would say, through December. Although we request that parents send everything in by the start of the school year, some things still trickle through, so month to month I follow up. Please let me know if your student is no longer in homeschooling, if you've enrolled them somewhere else. So that number could shift a little, but even if that does drop, we'd still be at a higher number than last year. One of the changes, I would say, with homeschooling that has helped and been in response to parents wanting an option other than mailing in a paper form is a Google form has been created. So to date, well, starting with August 1st is when it went live, is 55 families have submitted their plan forms using the Google form. And then yearly, they have to provide evidence of student progress. So 14 students have submitted, families have submitted evidence for their students also using a Google form. So moving in that direction a little bit for homeschooling.
Okay. Was that the report?
I've also included, I have home and hospital in there as well, and then I did do homeschooling by quadrant, looking to see if there were any huge discrepancies in enrollment by quadrant, and again, not really. We have the lowest percentage being Doherty quadrant, 19%, and Burncoat making up 30% of homeschooled families. So I did a breakdown with that as well, just showing the number of students and families in there. So Burncoat and North have a similar number of students enrolled, with Burncoat having fewer families, 61 families, sorry, and 100 students, North having 94 students and 72 families. So really nothing huge there or alarming where we would say, is there a reason we're homeschooling instead of sending to any of our Worcester schools. And for home and hospital, there's this year's comparison to last year's, and this year is only year to date, so those numbers are obviously less than they were last year because that was for the entirety of the school year.
Great. Well, thank you so much for the report. I will start with Member Benenta. Do you have any questions or comments?
Oh, me first? I thought you said Vanessa. I'm just wondering why 5th grade. I was looking at those numbers, and it looked like that out of all the grades, it's 5th grade. I was just wondering why that would be 5th grade. Do you have any idea?
What is the question?
The homeschooling enrollment by grade.
Mm-hmm.
If you look for 24-25, 5th grade has 39 students, and well, of course, there was a jump in 2nd grade to 40.
Yeah, from 33 Oh, well, so, okay, so you're looking grade level horizontally across?
Yes.
And, okay, versus the color band?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so 5th grade is
39?
25 to 39, and so, but if I look at it in grade band, like a color, like cohort of students, being green, I'm looking at like 40, 40, 39, so it's almost like those 40 students from the year
Just moved
before.
along,
now,
I
yes.
see what you're saying, yeah. Can I just ask, because I know this was kind of an issue too, is so they apply for homeschooling, you approve their plan, then in a year they have to give you evidence of what the child did. What do you do when you don't get that evidence?
So that's the monthly follow-up that I'm going through. I would say right now there are probably about 30 outstanding students, which is a lot lower when I've looked at in the past. And so it's just the monthly follow-up to the families, and sometimes it's just the response, I'm so sorry, I forgot, or, it's on the way. Some of them are enrolled in online programming, and depending on when they picked up, it runs like on an annual basis, even though it's not a Worcester school year, and so they're waiting on reports from those schools.
I know that was always an issue, like what do you do when you just cannot get, after all your monthly monthly calls, and you're asking, because we're responsible for every kid that lives in Worcester, right? If they're not going to a parochial school, whatever, we're responsible for knowing where they are, just for safety reasons. And I think that's a challenge for every school district. Exactly, what do you do when you don't get those forms?
Right, so as I said, it's about 30 that's outstanding now. Last week I had sent another email, and I probably got about 15 responses there, so it was probably 45 before. So people are responding.
Slowly.
Yes.
Bringing them
but
in.
continue to follow up until those numbers get us covered for everyone.
Great, thank you.
You're welcome.
Member Mailman?
Yeah, thank you. So, at the end of the year, like, do they have to, is it once a year they have to? Okay, so this is 30 from like last year that hadn't responded. So
Correct,
you're
it
still
would've been
working
that.
on last year's. So there's always a certain cohort of students that we don't, and then all we probably have to do is make sure that we keep bugging them.
Yes, so I did, on the approval letters that they're receiving now, in the past it just said submit evidence of progress, so I put in by June 13th. I did put a deadline for this current school year, and it also has a hyperlink because they're receiving the approval letter on email so that they can click right on it and submit their evidence in there, which...
So through the chair, is there ever a circumstance where, like, so if you get to the end of this year and you probably got 30 more from this year that won't have given you the data, does the state ever come and say, okay, we can prove that we're trying to do our job. If families aren't giving us information, then is there a responsibility that we have beyond that?
So I have had a few calls from DCF, which,
Yeah.
so those tend to be cases that the state is already involved. And
Sure.
then they reach out and they say, can you tell us if they've submitted anything? They're saying they're homeschooling or they're not, and then we'll have those conversations. But I would say that's in the minority.
And I was interested in your comment about the Google form. Are you feeling like that the easier we make it for families to homeschool, the more will we see increasing numbers, or?
No, I think it's just an option that they prefer. I know when social emotional learning was over at Fanning, there was some loss of mail, or I received a homeschool form, a paper one 45 days after it was postmarked, things like that. So at least this way, and when they email it, they know there's record of it. Some people send things certified mail, but not everyone is sending them that way. For the student evidence, I received some binders that people were spending $30 on mailing here. So I think, they appreciate that they can just upload it and be done.
I'm wondering, to the question about the 5th grade, it seems like that might have been COVID, right? Maybe that was probably when they started. They just kept going, maybe. Interesting. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Vice Chairwoman?
I don't have any follow-up questions.
Thank you. I would want to kind of also ask about, we're seeing 2022 to 2023, and then all the way up to current, and it looks like we continue to trend as more folks are in there. But do we have some sort of feedback mechanism that we can actually find out why we're going?
No, but I'd be happy to create one. Certainly, there are parents that do reach out on their own.
Yeah.
And I do have conversations,
Yeah.
with them, and they share, but I think that would certainly be, I can put out as
Yeah,
a...
no, again, I just didn't know if we had
Yeah,
one
no, that
already,
would be-
but just only, because is there something that we're not doing correctly?
Right,
That's the
so,
question.
I mean, I do appreciate when they share, and like I said, with the monthly follow-up, I'll send
Yeah.
emails or I'll call, and, some of them are very willing to say, oh, no, we went with tech, or I thought this would be easier for me to do on my own than
Yeah.
it actually is, or, we're sending them to a private school for religious reasons.
Yep.
So sometimes they do share that, but
Okay.
if they have an opportunity to just kind of put it out there too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it would have to be anything where it's a formal
Right.
thing. Maybe we just have just anonymous feedback. I think it's just something that we can kind of
Sure.
learn from, so.
Yep.
Okay, I appreciate it. So I'm going to make a motion to file. Do I have a second?
Second?
Can I do roll call, please?
Vice Chair Alvarez,
Yes.
Member Beninda,
Yes.
Member Mailman,
Yes.
Chairperson Guardiola.
Yes, thank you. Okay, moving on to our next item, GB3-253, to provide an update to the school committee about Doherty Biomedical Academy program. Thank you, Dr. Roman.
Thank you.
Mr. Chrysonis? Sure.
Share the screen with you.
Oh, there it is.
There we go. Through the chair, thank you, everybody, for the opportunity. As Dr. Morse had mentioned, we have open house tonight at Doherty, and we also have Principal Staley was at the RISE Network down in Connecticut, so we had quite a ride to get back. But what we did is we did have a general overview of things which you have in the packet there with the backup. It was a little bit confusing. It used to be a Google site, which we previously used when we created all these pieces, and it's a little harder to pull offline. So I did create, Mr. Staley did with Katie Wilson, who is one of the teachers who teaches this at Doherty and will be with us. So I wanted to create this easier for you, and we can share this with you also. But just so to run through the general information in terms of this, there's your school staffing. And then the biomedical program, just the overview again here of just the number of credits that they're going to earn for graduation in general, and then we'll show you how this plays into this and the advantage of this. You can, the opportunities for college credit with early college classes, opportunities for college credit through advanced placement, knowledge enhancement of laboratory skills for future utilization in biomedical fields. We also have knowledge of enhancement of clinical skills focusing on data, patient care for future potential careers. A lot of the information that we gathered and put together were from our partners with WPI and Biomedical Engineering Program, as well as UMass Chan. So we did get a lot of that information in our fact-finding leading up to this. And a lot of information that you'll see comes from our curriculum, which is through Project Lead the Way, with advanced coursework. So again, this program would be considered another advanced coursework opportunity for our students, where the district receives credit for student advanced coursework. We also will be able to have guest speakers, presenters from companies in the area and organizations both local and statewide. Field trips to those companies as well to gain field experience and exposure to the biomedical opportunities city statewide through programs offered at various colleges and universities, as mentioned. So if you go in next year as a freshman, students will follow the required biomedical science course alignment, which each year they would take a class that's aligned to the biomedical Project Lead the Way pathways. The freshman class is Principles of Biomedical Science, which in the next page you'll see what those courses are made up of. Sophomore year is Human Body Systems. Junior year is Medical Interventions. Senior year is Biomedical Innovations. And then they have the potential to take other courses offered as capstone senior year that connect with the Engineering Academy. Also opportunities of classes that are offered at Worcester State as well as Quincy through our early college program. And we also align it with other advanced placement courses that you would take along with that. That is a general overview of the classes and what the course description is for each of those, and gives you a general idea in terms of The health promotion, students explore the range of what biomedical science really is in ninth grade, and then the building steps of human body systems, medical interventions, and biomedical innovation, and what we can do to make the world a better place in terms of biomed field. In terms of the Advanced Science Academy criteria for application, we're running what is similar to any 8th grade student. We've combined and looked at what we have offered in our Guarded Scholars Academy, as well as Hanover Insurance Academy, and then we also have a combination as well for our lotteries with our Chapter 74 programs as well, to try to make sure that we're all sort of on the same procedures and the same ideas. So any 8th grade student is a resident of Worcester who is currently accepted as a school choice student prior to January of their 8th grade year is eligible to apply. The application calls for a brief statement of interest, and then applications to be scored by admissions committee consisting of administration, guidance counselors, staff, several academic departments, and the assessment coordinator. The accepted students that live more than 2 miles away from the school will be provided transportation as long as they remain in the academy. If the student elects to leave the academy, they'll be required to enroll in their home school. And if the student is a Worcester resident and has not taken STAR testing, they would contact Doherty to do that if they wanted to. In alignment with the other programs, the first 2 things we would do is we would get our fall and winter, and they've previously used the spring as well from the previous year, depending when they come out, for STAR testing data. So if they're in the 75th percentile on any one of those tests, we'd take that student and we would offer them and the opportunity to apply to the school and to the program. And that's 75 percentile. Those that are in the 85th percentile in reading or math would be able to apply to the school if one of their scores is in that 85th percentile there, and they'd be invited to do that. The next option is any students that don't meet that criteria, so it's open to them, would be able to submit an application that's located on the Doherty website, provide their attendance and discipline records from grade 7 and 8, which is similar to what we do for the Chapter 74 tiering programs, and then complete their essay of interest. Once those are returned by the date, we have tentative dates based on STAR testing and the returns of those, be able to pull all that and get the information to students, and usually there's a 2-week turnover. We'd hope to be able to have these going by the end of March. The applications for that option 2 for students that were not invited necessarily by their STAR scores, and through their application would then be able to submit those, and they would be placed in the tier 3 and notified if they are accepted based on the old lottery system. There will be a max of 50 students, 2 sections of 25 each, brought into the 9th grade. By the time the program goes all the way through, there will be 200 students in the biomedical program at Doherty. This is just a reminder about the attendance policy and the discipline policy that we use for our Chapter 74 program that was recently approved as guidance. And then some of the expectations. Once the students are there, we would like to have them maintain 80% or better in all their classes. They need to seek extra help after or before school, teacher's discretion, if not doing well in those classes. Take at least 5 AP courses. 1 must be a math course, 1 must be a science course over their time in the program. Students may also take early college or dual enrollment classes in lieu of AP classes, as I mentioned. And then they'll follow the district attendance policy so as not to lose any credit in any classes due to absences, which is 14 or more for the year. And these are some of the AP classes and exams that we offer that they would have an opportunity to take, and we take a lot of guidance from some of the colleges. We have had some conversations with area schools about some other MOUs that we create that we do have that exist for opportunities to take some classes, but we offer a great variety through our early college and certainly with our AP classes. But if students were clamoring for more, we've been trying to talk with WPI as well to maybe have something more aligned with their program as well. And eventually, at some point in time, as the program gets going, we get closer, it is 4 years out, is the opportunity to hopefully create some sort of pathway that maybe is open for our students to be able to go to WPI or to some other programs that offer biomedical engineering. So maybe a little more seamless transition based on their grades, knowing some of those professors. So that's what our goal is down the road with that as well. So, and this is just a sample schedule in grade 9, 10, 11, and 12. You can see that the project Lead the Way biomedical science is in there during that 6-period block for each of those, but then they still have a regular array of classes that they can take honors level classes. They can have room for APs, PE off-campus is available to students as well. If PE doesn't fit into their schedule, they want to take it. They have still some room even 11th and 12th grade for electives and internships, which we work on as well in this field. This is like just another example is the grade 9 sample schedule. This would be an honors level student. They have geometry, biology, art foundations, foreign language, English, and then they also have the biomed, and then also an AP class of human geography, which would be a great opportunity as well during their 9th grade to take that. So that is the overall presentation of what we have to offer in terms of the biomedical program and what we'd like to do starting with next year at Doherty. The rollout is the planning stages that we've gone through now, and we hope to be able to start this and sort of have it similarly aligned, just waiting on STAR testing for the way the Chapter 74 programs go, as well as GSA and Hanover, so everybody's sort of at the same time, and students have a multitude of options going into the end of their 3rd and 4th quarter during their 8th grade year.
All right. Thank you for the presentation. I will begin with Member Benenda. Any questions or comments for the administration?
Sure, thank you. A couple. So first of all, I know we moved Project Lead the Way to the Doherty quadrant, right? We put it at Jacob Hyatt for a reason, and then Forest Grove. And the idea for Forest Grove is that kids that went to Forest Grove in 7th and 8th grade would have that opportunity when we opened up this academy at the high school, not to really receive a preference, but they would have already had received some of that information. It looks like that's not that. I know you have Project Lead the Way at Forest Grove, but there's really no direct connection. Is that right now from
Not at this time,
Forest
no.
Grove to Doherty? Okay. The second question I had is is there a transition? There must be a transition person for the new academy starting, that's going to be in charge of that academy, right, from 8th grade to 9th. Who is that person? Has that person already been appointed?
In terms of, through the chair, in terms of a teacher or the person that's in charge of the
I
programming?
think it's called the administrator. It would be called the, probably the name of this program administrator. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, so John Staley is the principal who's been overseeing it based on his previous experience when they started planning this before becoming principal, and Katie Wilson, who is the
Oh,
the
that's what
teacher
I
and
wanted to
director
know,
of that.
Katie Wilson.
Correct.
Okay, perfect. And then my next question is that going to be a team? So like, the ETA is a team there, right? It's a 9th grade, 10th grade, and then they go out to other courses, but they still take a certain number of classes together. So will this be a separate 9th grade team that's going to be happening at Doherty next year?
I wouldn't necessarily, they would have the same teacher for the biomedical classes, but other than that, they would have availability to choose the classes that fit into their schedule. And from a scheduling standpoint, as I'm sure you know, it's probably easier to keep them teamed
Yes.
based on what they have and their choices. That is definitely easier to do as a 9th and 10th grader with less flexibility in the
Yes.
schedules, and then they break off similar to the ETA and the Chapter 74 programs. But currently at this time, it's probably best based on the levels of the students there. They'll be probably pretty closely teamed, and they'll have communications with their English, math teachers, specifically and science teachers, to have conversations to see how they're doing in those classes as it relates to the biomed program too.
So I remember when we looked at this, we did say we need to hire another team of teachers, right? Regardless how you do it, the ETA already have their teachers. So we're going to be looking, I'm assuming, at maybe adding more teachers to the Doherty staff since you're bringing another program in?
Just add. I think I can answer that.
Oh, good.
Just this year, we had to, because of over-enrollment, we hired another team of about 5 teachers.
So would
So
this
it's-
group go
I would
into-
say, I don't know if they'd have those 5 teachers, but we would have extra staff.
And so the Project Lead the Way for the ETA would probably, I know those classes already have their numbers, so you might have to expand the Project Lead the Way science classes too, and technology classes
Because
in order to bring this in. So this got started because there had been agreement that we would have an honors academy, right, at Doherty. And then we got to the conversation about, well, how can we have an honors academy when you already have the ETA there? And that's how we got to this idea. So I'm just, wondering and hoping that we're still able to offer enough staff members for this to be successful, because the ETA is extremely successful, right? And for this to go with the biomedical connection to WPI would be another reason why obviously people would choose to go to Doherty. You're going to be attracting your high-performing kids there. And this is just another program to do that. Somewhat connected, with what you offer for the ETA. I think it's exciting that this offering is, we're expanding to this and we're meeting that promise of an honors academy for the Doherty quadrant there at the same time. I just, hope that when we do the budget, that we really carefully look at the increase in staff you're definitely going to need for this program to happen, considering Doherty already has more students than we planned on having when you open the doors. So now you would have to find ways for, or I guess 50 of the students you would normally accept. Oh, that's going to be coming citywide though, right? So it's not necessarily 50 of the kids from the quadrant that would normally go there. This is going to be citywide.
Yeah, through the chair, that's something we've talked about in terms of even the Chapter 74 programs, is that the students come from all over the city for all of those, so now there will be a fifth program that will be accepting students across the city, and it's not so much those classes that we don't have the teachers for, it's the the core classes,
Yes.
where there's overloading, where there's general ed students in the other classes that aren't part of those programs that we still have to fill, meet, teacher classroom limits and things like that, so.
Yeah, great, thank you. I think it's exciting to see that it's going to be off the ground, for the beginning of next year. Thank you.
From exciting to this frustrates me.
Mailman.
And this frustrates me because, and we've talked about admissions for tech, and we're keeping it in the committee to make sure we keep talking about it, but this, we don't do STAR testing for Chapter 74 programs. No.
No, we don't just start testing for that.
Right, and all kids can apply, and if they're C students or D students. And Goddard Scholars is, this to me is, it flies in the face of everybody having an opportunity to do this. Like, why don't we just put everybody in Tier 3? You want to apply for the program, you get a shot, and it's a lottery. I also want to know, are we going to take so many per quadrant? Are we going to
So the only
10
teacher,
per quadrant? I mean, it should be the same structure as we have for tech.
Correct. Tech at this time is the only one that has that structure. The comprehensives don't have that structure. GSA,
But we've
Hanover.
talked about the fact that they should. Why don't they have that structure? I'm not understanding why we're not moving towards that kind of a model through the chair.
So, through the chair, I think part of the issue is that if that does happen, that creates the issue that we're talking about, where kids are coming across the city for all those programs, where we know a set number of tech that we're taking, and they're coming from wherever, and that's what's set there. We don't know what's going to happen on a day-to-day basis who lives in the quadrant, who attend those high schools. That number can change and fluctuate weekly. We know the set number of the students in the programs we have. If we take them from all over the city, we're going to add to the number of students that are going to be in
You're
the school.
still only going to take 50 kids. You're
Right,
not
but
going
if-
to add to the, 50 is going to be the numbers.
Right.
10 from each, or, if whatever the biggest middle school is, gets 2 more seats. I am lost as to why we are not making sure they're, I don't know. I mean, I think throughout the state, I think that it's true that some of these, honor programs or specialty programs, or whatever we want to call them, are under a lot of scrutiny right now, and it feels like we really never have resolved the Goddard Scholars, how that's happening and how many are coming from each quadrant, and how we're doing a better job being equitable about who gets access to these programs. So why aren't we why would we not say so many per quadrant?
Through the chair, I don't know the history of it all previous to when I started here. I know that they only had that at Worcester Tech. We are given the opportunity for everybody to apply to the program. In my, experience as a principal, there are some advanced academies that we do offer that you have to challenge those students as well, which is a smaller number compared to the total population of a school that's, let's say it's in a high school like South has 1,750 some odd kids. You're only talking about 200 kids, in general. So there's an advanced group there, but we also have so many programs that don't require lotteries that students go into that are within the schools that they meet that general requirement regardless of their academics, and we provide all those for
Do we have an
everybody.
advanced program? So we're going to have Goddard there. Hanover is not the same as Goddard.
Nope.
So it's not the same as that offering, and it's not at the level. And so you're going to have this at Doherty. What do we have at North? That's,
So we're in the process of planning that currently. So we do have an advanced academy at Goddard Scholars, which was an innovation school, started in the middle schools. So that was in 6th, 7th, and 8th, and then they extended that through the high school. The advanced program, we're looking at that now, how we can bring that into North. They used to have a science and engineering program at Worcester East Middle. So we're looking to build those and deciding what's the most cost-effective. The reason why it works right now at this point for Doherty for 9th grade is a brand-new building and access and the ability to do that, where we're looking at the success that it possibly could be, and then we'll build forward and then build backwards. And
well,
also offer
this
those
is
for-
academic. This doesn't take a special building to put this program in.
No, but some of the designs and the things in the what you need for the biomedical program were things that had to be, purchased, used, the facility itself, the room itself, depending on what the program is.
I
it's
guess,
strictly academic.
yeah. So you hear my point.
I do.
And I'd call Lou Finfer and say, Lou, come check out these programs. Why aren't you yelling about these programs when you're yelling about vocational programs? Because everyone thinks they can identify who the carpenter should be. That's why it's different. I guess I'd make a motion to just maybe get more information through the chair on other, what do we call these, specialty programs that are going on in other areas, and anybody looking at that from an equity standpoint. Because I'm not clear so I've made my point. Thank you. But I'd like more information on what's happening in other states and in other places in Massachusetts, and are there any challenges? Maybe that's the word. Thank you.
Member Alvarez?
Hi, yeah, I have a question around the application part. I know that you guys, well, a couple of questions. First, with the application. For the application, I know it's mentioned that it's published on the website, it's emailed to the students and guardians, and all of that. However, what would you say, or how do I ask this? Is it given in different languages?
It will be, yes.
Yeah?
Correct. It will be translated. I was trying to pull it up for you. I
Okay.
apologize.
Yeah, no, you're okay. So it's given in different languages and it's presented in different ways. I'm wondering, how do you think that using this process, have you seen many applications come in? Do you think it's getting to the students, especially those who don't speak English? Okay. And aside from presenting them in these ways, do you think that maybe there's other ways we can present the application to get more people who probably don't really check their emails or are not on social media, specifically following the school page, maybe having like some sort of video to present in class during open house or orientation, or a presentation given to them? I know that the homeschool children are also eligible and that sort, so maybe like a video can probably help. Do you think that that's something that we can do?
Through the chair, yes. So a lot of these that we're trying to do through our Office of College Career Readiness is exactly that. With the presentations, we've had all the open houses, the regular Chapter 74 ones, and then the regular open houses like tonight, in talking about all these programs, as well as conversations within the school. It's currently not there now, but I know that there's the recruiting that occurs in the other buildings of teachers talking about it. We're talking about sending staff and sending them to the schools to talk about these in each of the elementary schools, to discuss them at the middle school level for the Goddard Scholars and for the Hanover program, so that there's more information that's out there. As you mentioned, we're working with Dan O'Brien, the communications office, as well, to make sure we streamline the process of having everything translated. And then in terms of this newer program as well, I mean, it's very simple, even just in the school, to get that out to all the schools and make sure that the students have it or seen it, because it's across the whole entire district. But we can certainly have all those pieces in place.
Yeah, I think that's it's important so it can be more familiarized. And I believe you guys kind of tackled a lot. Just one second as I get my thought.
Could we have this sent to us?
Yes.
That's not what's in our backup thing?
As of right now, that's all that I thought about.
Member Beninda.
Can I just say, one other thing is that these programs were started to keep our gifted children in our community. And, that's why the honors program is started. It's a different thing than Chapter 74 programs. 74.
I understand.
Yeah, you understand
I
that.
get that.
And that the purpose is
It
that.
doesn't matter.
Okay, but I just want to say what the reason
Member Beninda,
is.
I get it.
Member
I get
Beninda,
it.
please.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, the purpose is really to keep gifted children. If you look at the courses they're going to take, you have to be a really gifted person to take those courses, and then the connection to the colleges. So the purpose of it is really to provide program for gifted kids and to try to do it in every quadrant. And we do have the science. We did have for the longest time at North a really good science program there. Kids were connected to UMass Medical School, and the deal was that if they participated in that science program there, which was also difficult to get into, that they would, at one point, that they would offer them, once they finished college, an opportunity to attend the medical school. So North did have that program, and certainly the middle school did have a science program that ended, and UMass Medical School was still interested in pursuing that. So there will be another, if we could call it, honors program, I think in the future, probably coming for that, for North also. So nobody is being really left out as far as a quadrant.
Through the chair, that is our plan, to build these in each of the quadrants. Certainly at the high school levels, and then the middle school level, to provide feeder system and to open their eyes to those within the quadrants and create linked pathways and opportunities and experiences. And yes, they'd all have honors, at least maybe an honors academy or one at each one of the high schools, and then as well as the other programs. And I just want to make sure that we're on this. We know that the only program like that authority would be biomed. ETA was that originally, but it is now a Chapter 74 program, so it's not an honors level program. It's just, it actually gets advanced coursework because it's Chapter 74, but there are not honors level classes. Everything is college prep for that. That's why it's accessible for everybody who gets into that program.
Thank you.
Member Alvarez.
I remembered what I was going to say. So it was about the guidance counselors. I know that a couple of meetings ago, I was presented by the mentees that they wanted to have more of a connection with the guidance counselors. Do you think that maybe it'll be okay to, if they don't already mention these programs to them in that, like prepping them, whether they join at 5th grade, at 6th grade, whatever grade it is, but prepping them and planting that seed in there so that way they can grow into a gifted student?
Through the chair, so we brought a lot of this information to the guidance counselors already. This would be to the middle school counselors, so they can have that conversation, and department heads. And then once this gets, when it gets approved, we're able to have that conversation with them and be able to present to them, so they can certainly talk to the students about what the expectations are in these programs, academics, your preparation. Like if you're not maybe having a great 7th or 8th grade year, if you want to aspire to be in these programs, these are things that you can do and work towards. These are the goals if you're thinking about these fields. And we currently have a number of new things going on. Our speaker series, we have one on Friday at Forest Grove, and then we had one previously at Forest Grove and Burkout Middle. So bringing in people from Worcester Public School alumni that are in different fields that are talking to our students about, this is something that you can do. You can be me, and this is what I did to get there. Some of it wasn't always, rosy and great, but I did get to this point, and these are the challenges I face. This is what I try to do, overcome it. 30, 40 minutes, and having that conversation and question and answers, and our guidance counselors are involved with all of these conversations. But we'll continue to make sure that at the middle school level, especially, that they have all these programs and are aware of how they operate. We usually do bring in somebody who's the director or in charge of those. In this case, it would be the principals that discuss them with all of the middle at our department head meetings for guidance counselors.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for the presentation. I am very excited about this program. In my daily life, I understand how big of an industry this is. This is going to be an opportunity for these students to be able to go into these fields and really build the equity in their own self and their homes. I think, it's an explosion of this kind of industry, specifically as more and more folks are moving this way from Boston. It's going to be an opportunity, and partnering with great institutions that we have, like UMass. We're lucky to have them in the city to be able to kind of work with them directly. WPI, again, I truly believe in this public-private partnership. That's how we allow folks to grow, making sure, especially our students who can actually go and see these sites directly. I'm very excited for it. And again, I understand the concerns that were raised today, and there is a motion. The motion will be to provide more information on other specialty programs in other places in the Commonwealth so we can learn. So I will take a second for that motion.
Second, yes.
Roll call, please.
Vice Chair Alvarez,
Yes.
Member Beninda,
No.
Member Mailman,
Yes.
Chairperson Guardiola.
Yes. Thank you so much. That is the items for this evening. I will take a motion to adjourn.
Yes.
All in favor? Opposed? So voted. Thank you.